like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now, told him on the lay. I've been moving, dog, yeah, I'm on the way. I don't hear the talk, don't care what they say. I don't got no patience, I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it, running up all these digits. And I've been in the gym, I've been up doing minutes. I just put in that work, told them it's strictly business. And I see through the face, they all just burning bridges. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it, dog, like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell.
Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen them down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a meal, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a Don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Told him come down and I'll meet him at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
At the night, all I wanna do is love, I don't wanna fight. Why you coming at me telling me to get in line? I can see the pride coming up out your eyes, I'm not surprised. How can I do this? You sound like Judas, confide in the jeweler. I see mountain trying to move her, you live for the moolah. That's kinda cooler, frying the noodles. You pray to Buddha, I bow to Yeshua, I ain't that foolish, no. I've been on the road too long, the Pro Tools broke, but folks who hold, they got anxiety but cope with dope. Why you think they listen to NF? Why you think we go to service, never hear the message? Attention span gone, the Instagram one. We give the bread off for likes to get on. We build a kingdom, but where was God's son? I don't need no spot at your table, I'm here to see his will done.
Holla, 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 don't forget about the game. Yeah. It ain't about progression, better get it out my face. And show by your aggression, but we running our whole race. We can't stop the blessing, film, just get up on our way. We don't need no spot at your table. My team versus your team, you can't be my stable. We don't need no spot at your table. My team versus your team, you can't be my stable.
I used to call people and they never call me back. Now they hit my phone like the minute they hear me rap. Oh no, I ain't with the nonsense. I'm a pilot, you a punches. Y'all are not my friends. Yeah, I'ma run this race at my own pace. At my table, always say grace. Holy Father up in heaven, yeah, that's how we pray. You need faith to please God. Reach out, reroute your way of thinking. What if I told you that you were dated like Pinkett? If I drove a Lincoln, would you think so different than me? Hope a Bentley and identity would never coincide. I think the enemy would try to catch us something flashy running by. Yeah, they want a piece of the pie, but I'm not willing to divide unless I give it the tithe. Y'all be acting so divine, more like hypocritically. If Jesus came up to your table, would you give him a seat? Sheesh. You act so famous, when all of that glory belong to Jesus our Savior. Don't speak, just save it, I'll break bread for ages, cause my table consists of J. Crumb and Fameless.
Holla, 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 don't forget about the game, yeah. If it ain't about progression, better get it out my face. And show by your aggression, but we running our own race. You can't stop the blessing, fam, just get up out of the way. We don't need no spot at your table. My team versus your team, you can't be my stable. We don't need no spot at your table. My team versus your team, you can't be my stable.
Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And sometimes around this time, Ethereum ETFs get approved, or is this just some kind of a crazy rumor? We were actually having trouble finding legitimate hard proof of this, but word on the street, I should say, is that this Ethereum ETF is approved, guys. This is something that obviously everybody was expecting. Obviously the probabilities of it getting approved, that's kind of what was expected here. But what does this mean for the future of Ethereum? I actually just dropped a pre-recorded video on the channel. I highly recommend you guys check that out after the live stream. But what does this mean for the future of Ethereum, and not only Ethereum, but Bitcoin also? Pretty interesting stuff here, guys. I want to cover the Ethereum chart a lot today, as well as the Bitcoin chart, because we did wind up coming down to some very key levels and very specific levels that we wound up getting that bounce from. Now, not too much of a bounce here just yet, so I wouldn't really be getting super excited just yet, but I want to cover the charts with you guys, talk about the key levels, and maybe I'll tease some of the higher targets for Ethereum. But if you want the super detailed analysis on Ethereum, go check out that pre-recorded video after the live stream. Obviously, we'll cover some of it today. This is actually going to be a short live stream, guys. I actually pushed back my travel plans because of the ETF approval, just to be live here with you guys. I originally was going to do a premiere because I am supposed to be traveling right now, but I pushed it back for the Mafia. The ETF isn't going to get approved. This doesn't happen every day, so I decided to push everything back. But it is going to be, I only push things back a little bit. So it's going to be like a 30-minute stream. We're going over Bitcoin very quickly, but we're actually going to start with Ethereum, obviously, and then we'll go back to Bitcoin. I'll give you guys the key levels, update you on my sentiment on where I think price is headed next. As so far this week, we were able to call that little retracement down to this key level, and you guys are going to see what I'm talking about in just a second. But don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some extra chances to win some free crypto, which typically we give away on Friday's live stream, but I am going to be out of town on Friday, so live stream schedule is going to be a little off tomorrow and potentially Monday, but at the after Tuesday, we'll be back to our regular schedule, and I believe Monday is a holiday, so pretty good timing. But smash that like button if you have not already, and if you want ETH to go to much higher prices and break its all-time high, smash that like button. We got Hodl Crypto in the chat. What is going on? Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Sunny. What is going on? Thank you for tuning in. We got Mr. T Crypto. What is going on? Thank you for tuning in. We got Jay Violet. We got Crypto Kid, Jay Gilly. As always, good to see you, bro. Mark Dutch tuning in. I see you guys asking for that playlist in the waiting room. There is a playlist somewhere in the free Discord if you guys want to get in there. Link in the description down below. Shout out to the CandleMafia. Show our mods some love. And without further ado, we got a whole lot of sauce to look at tonight, guys. So let's go ahead and jump right on into the charts. Let's get into it. So here we are over here on the Bitcoin chart. But first off, let's take a quick look at Ethereum, as we have seen quite a bit of volatility coming in here, guys, as we got that big wick to the downside. We actually got to bounce off this spider line before coming back up. But I want to talk about this a little bit. Let me pull up the object tree here. I want to hide some of these levels real quick. And let's talk about what we have going on. Now, coming up to the higher time frames, let me actually hide these spider lines as well. So obviously, guys, let's pull up that current TA. So on the daily, right, if we come on over to the daily here, obviously this is kind of the current price action, or the current range that I'm looking at. This is kind of the local price action. So the value area high is coming in here at about $3,700. POC at $3,500, and then your value area low is coming in at $32,221. But here we are, right? We are simply deviating above this volume profile, sitting above the value area high, and this is typically, guys, not necessarily where we wind up seeing these just massive moves to the upside. So I do just want to point this out. I want to focus everybody's attention on over to when the Bitcoin ETF got approved. Now, this is not necessarily going to guarantee that this is what we're going to see on Ethereum, but I do just kind of want to talk about this because I know everybody's looking higher, right? Rightfully so, as you know, it would have made sense to look higher here on Bitcoin as well. But typically, guys, when you see these ETF approvals, it's not very often that you just see the news event give you a Lambo candle to the upside, and it's for good reason, right? It's basically buy the rumor, sell the news, right? Everybody who was buying Bitcoin all down here, right? The smart money that was buying Bitcoin all the way down here, they were in massive, massive profits, especially those who were buying the bottom of the bear market, just pulling from the wick to the ETF approval here. Which I believe was on the 10th of January, which is basically that wick where we tapped into this golden pocket. Sure, this ETF approval was making us super, super bullish on Bitcoin, but being bullish on Bitcoin is different than trying to predict Bitcoin's next local move, right? So obviously this is bullish for Bitcoin, but we understood that we were tapping into very, very key resistance here with our higher highs on price action, lower highs on our momentum waves, with that money flow coming out, which was pointing towards a potential pullback, right? So we have to understand that it's not usual to see the ETF approvals and then get the instant Lambo candle to the upside. It also doesn't make it impossible, but I do just want to point that out, right? So with that being said, we are technically sitting at local resistance, as well as if we just pull up to the higher time frames here, guys. I do just want to point out, right? Let's take a look at this, right? So just generally, we are essentially in a pretty big range here. Let me just fix this. make that not transparent. So you guys can see, right? Let me hide the current range that I have right here and then just draw out these horizontal lines, right? So essentially, guys, this is somewhat of a big range. And whether, right, we're going to get the breakout here or not, even if we are going to get the breakout, we have to understand that not only is the level that we're approaching right now likely to act as resistance, and I'm going to show the exact levels that I'm watching in a sec, but we also have the all-time high up here. So this whole kind of zone, you have to look at least some kind of local resistance, right? Just like on Bitcoin, I was just showing you, that macro golden pocket was local resistance, but that doesn't mean that we're looking for a move like to zero, right? You just have to understand that you could see a little volatility come in before that next move to the upside. And Ethereum is indeed coming up to a pretty key level of resistance, right? It's kind of basically the range high of this massive, this massive 1,200-day range. And on top of that, if we pull that macro golden pocket from the high all the way to the low here, we are sitting, right, as Bitcoin was hitting its macro golden pocket on that ETF approval, Ethereum was basically up at its 786 retracement level, and we are now revisiting that. So I just want to point this out. We are at resistance. Now, it's not necessarily the same thing we were seeing with Bitcoin, because on Bitcoin, we had massive bearish divergences with money flow coming out on the daily. So I don't see that here on Ethereum. So it's not like, I don't want to say like, the dump is likely, because we're just not getting those clear signals. On Bitcoin, it was like clear as day. Higher highs into a key level of resistance, lower highs with money flow coming out. This is binarily bearish, right? Which, by the way, binarily, I believe, is a word that I made up. But that's okay. I'm going to continue to use it. But that is like a clear reason to look for a short. Bullish news or not, I'm taking a short based off these signals, right? But we're not seeing that on Ethereum, but we are sitting at resistance. So just keep that in mind. I know a lot of people can get kind of like bull drunk off these super bullish news events, and it doesn't mean we can't rip up. Just be aware that this doesn't just guarantee that you're going to get a Lambo candle instantly. And, a lot of times, more often, price action will look something kind of sketchy, right? Just kind of bing bong around, and then eventually you'll get that big move to the upside. But this is obviously good news for Ethereum, assuming that we find out it's not a hack or the intern fat fingering the keyboard. This is obviously going to be very bullish for Ethereum. And let me go ahead and hide some of this other stuff as well, just to clean up the chart. So with that being said, taking a look at the current price action, I want to talk about the current situation that we're in here with Ethereum, because we have two major zones that I'm looking at locally before we break the all-time high. Because believe it or not, we actually do have a bit of work to do before we get up to that all-time high and then hopefully break out above it. And I'm going to talk about those levels right now. So pulling up the daily chart here, let's take a look. You have your current range right here. And then I also want to pull up we're kind of in between two value areas, and we have been looking at this on the live stream for quite a while now. But here's the thing, right? Sure, we are at local resistance, but you have to understand we are also potentially entering into the value area low, or potentially looking to flip the value area low of this upper range pulled all the way back from November 2021. We could be flipping that level to support right now. And this is kind of what we have been looking at on the live stream for the past few days, saying, hey, this is my roadmap for Ethereum. If we can get above that value area low and hold it as support, that's where we're going to look for price to go where? Shout out to Creighton C, Wick 589, Wick's White Fine 89, Theo Rodriguez. I know somebody knows the answer. But once we flip that value area low, this is where you are going to expect a move. The next likely place for price to go, as long as you remain, what's the word I'm looking for? Not remain. I can do it. Maintain. I don't know why that slipped my mind. As long as you can maintain support above this value area low, guys, the next likely place to go, shout out to Cryptic Sniper, the next likely place for price to go is going to be that point of control of the range, sitting at about $4,085. And then at that point, as long as you're once you're accepted into this range, you're expecting not only to go to the POC, but then get a move up to that value area high, bringing us to a potential local target, a local higher target of about 43.91. There we go. But yeah, to be frank, shout out to Pop E22. But that is basically what I'm looking at in the local term, right, or the medium term. Looking for a potential hold of support above that value area low. By the way, that level is coming in at 37.57, which is, for anybody listening that just wants the level here, that's your key level to remain above. The nice thing is, all these levels give you a nice roadmap on where price is likely to go. So you remain above that level, looking for a continuation to the POC and potentially the value area high. And then if we get a breakdown, you simply have your lower volume profile to give you you your roadmap to the downside, right? If you get stuck underneath this value area high, this is where you're expecting a move back down to the POC, basically just the inverse of what we just talked about right here. You're just looking for an acceptance back into this range, a move to the POC, a breakdown below that POC, and then a bigger move down towards that value area low. So these are just the local the local levels, or the more local levels that I'm looking at. Now, in my opinion, I will say this. In my opinion, one of the absolute critical levels of support that we must hold is going to be sitting right. Whoops. Let me go ahead and pull that to the current price, and let me go ahead and hide the upper value area. So one of the absolutely pinnacle levels of support that I really want to hold, I'm actually going to pull this from the actual start of the move here, is this value area low, right? If you get some kind of unsuspected drop to the downside, which again, you might be saying, Frankie, the ETF was just approved. Why would you even be assuming that we could potentially get a move to the downside? Again, I point you to the Bitcoin ETF approval, where obviously it was bullish for Bitcoin, but we did get a 20% pullback, which is a lot more than the threshold to freak people out. I've noticed through this YouTube channel and just being in crypto in general, if price moves 5%, that is usually where people just start losing their minds and being like, oh my God, what's happening? But as a trader, we see 20% dumps in crypto, or as a crypto trader, we see 20% dumps on the way up very often, especially with where we are in the market. So if for anyone wondering, like, why are you talking about lower targets if the ETF just got approved? And the answer is because it is very, very possible, because Bitcoin was in a very similar situation here, right? We were at a range high. We deviated out of that range. Everyone thought we were breaking out, but all we could see on the charts were those bearish divergences for a potential pullback, and that is exactly what we got, and I am still holding my long from down here. Most people were looking at, maybe not, yeah, definitely most people were longing up here, saying, oh my God, long, 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 right? We're breaking out. But no, this is not where we long. This is considered resistance, major resistance. And that's just, I know a lot of people are probably confused, like, why are you looking down if the ETF just got approved? And that, simply put, it's because that's how the market typically moves, right? So it doesn't guarantee you get the pullback, but if you do, guys, I would really, really be using this volume profile as your kind of roadmap to where price is likely to go. And even if we came down to this value area low, I will be honest, I'm not going to show all the levels because I have a lot of the other levels in the pre-recorded video, and I am in a little bit of a rush right now. But this golden pocket value area low confluence would be an area where I would be willing to be looking for longs, right? Because at that point, you could potentially be putting a higher low in, and if we are going to get a retracement before that higher low comes in, the likely place for that to come in is going to be that golden pocket or 786 retracement, especially this golden pocket because of the confluence with that value area low. And this might seem familiar to you if you watch the live streams, because we just talked about this on Bitcoin, right? Talking about how I am long from down here at the bottom of the range, right? We looked, and I did wind up getting into my short position finally. From up here, we looked for a short position, but we were not looking for it to go to zero. Rather, we were looking for it to pull back into this key zone of support, guys, and you cannot make it up, right? We knew that a higher low, and I'll be honest, like this, just because we got a wick down here and a bounce does not mean that the higher low is guaranteed. But, we were looking for this support area to act as a potential high likelihood level to put in a higher low and continue the trend to the upside. And simply put, we caught that short, came to the downside, and we hit that golden pocket, and nope, it had to touch every level, so it wicked down, tapped that 786, and that is the exact level that we got the bounce from. Right? This is what we do here. We find the key levels that are high probability reactions, and then we trade and take advantage of those moves, right? So because of that, looking at Ethereum, we have to anticipate something potentially similar, right? And I'm not saying we're going to talk about like the actual local signals right now. I'm not saying there's a reason to be looking for this to happen, but I just want everyone to know, moving into Friday and even over the weekend, if you start seeing a pullback, I don't want everybody to instantly start getting super bearish, because a lot of people, when that Bitcoin ETF got approved, probably got faked out of their longer term positions thinking this was like the top or a major top and they were going to buy lower. But simply put, it was just a retracement to continue the bullish trend. So very simply put, these levels are going to be this local range sitting value area high at 3,700, POC at 3,500, value area low at 3,221. And again, that 3,221 zone is going to be your key level that you were going to be looking for a bounce. Well, not you, but me. That is going to be where I'm looking for a bounce, not financial advice. So there you go. I want to prepare you guys whether we get that retracement very similarly to how Bitcoin had it. And if we just yeet to the upside, we're going to talk about those high, or we already did talk about those higher levels coming from that upper value area. And this is why I like using the value areas, guys, because it's just very simple. If we start ripping, I go, okay, cool, we're ripping. Let me go ahead and take a look at the upper levels. I know these are key, and not only that, I know how price is likely to behave here. Once I flip that POC, I'm not looking for shorts. I'm looking for a very likely move to that value area high. And then if we start dumping and we start slipping this value area low, which, by the way, is your key level, sitting at 38.27, or not, I'm sorry, 37.57, you start losing that level, that's where you go, okay, if you start dumping, let me pull up the lower range. Where am I likely to go? Well, let's look for a move down to that POC, which, by the way, is exactly where Bitcoin wound up coming down to, right? Same idea. You leave the value area, and then you start pulling back, and people are like, oh my God, is the pump over? Or are we just going to the POC to potentially put in a higher low, right? So these are the key levels I'm going to be looking at, and I'm going to get to the, I'll be honest with you guys, right? Red dot is potentially looking to print here on the daily for Ethereum. This is partially why we were anticipating this continued retracement on Bitcoin, right? Not getting bearish on Bitcoin, but just looking for that retracement, right? And that red dot was something that we were looking at on the live stream to potentially start that move. We print the red dot, we get the move, right? So with that being said, you have to anticipate a potentially similar situation to happen here on Ethereum. You get the red dot. If you pull back, now you have the key levels. If you get a move to the upside, right, and we get faked out, there's no way to guarantee that we're going to get that retracement. So if it hits you by surprise, simply pull up your upper value area, right? And now you have your targets of resistance to the upside, right? And then once you flip that value area low, you could potentially, right, as long as you hold support above this low, you could potentially be looking to long and targeting these areas to the upside. But now you have invalidations to the downside, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm looking at. I'd be careful with that daily red dot to just like FOMO, like into a long position. I'm not FOMOing right now. I did buy a bunch of Ethereum on the last dip. Thank God, in case this winds up being mega bullish. I did buy a bunch of Solana and Ethereum down there. But with that being said, let me hear in the chat how high you guys think this thing can go. Just put like make it an even number, right? Just do like, if you think it's going to 5K, just put 5K and that's it. 2K, whatever you think is going to happen. Let me know in the chat. Spam those price targets and let me know where you guys think this thing is headed. And I'm going to talk about one of the higher price targets that I'm looking at to the upside if we do wind up breaking that move or breaking this all-time high. Let's see. 5K, shout out to Peggy. I like 5K. 7K, shout out to Sleet. Hey, you guys already saw the video potentially. So you guys already might know my targets to the upside. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out. But let me go ahead and talk about this really quickly, right? So let me pull this up. I'm going to take a look at the spider lines here. Now, there are other reasons to be looking at these targets. Let's see. 8K, I don't hate that. 4,200. Yes. Yeah, shout out to Jay-Z. Nice local target there. 4,200. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty close to the value area high and the POC. Honestly, it's like right in the sweet spot there. 6.6, 7,200, 10K. Shout out to Crypto 101. Go ahead and check that. If you want to know if I think that 10K is possible, go watch that Ethereum video. Tony D, if you could drop the link in there so we could pin it to the top of the chat, that would be super, super helpful. Shout out to Sleet, said I watched the video. I knew it, Sleet. I knew it. Okay, so let's talk about this, right? So we have these spider lines, and for anybody who's wondering about these are... I'll be honest with you guys. These are like some kind of magic trend lines that CryptoFace, I think, invented. I don't quote me on that. I did not invent them. I know that. I got them from CryptoFace. I assume he probably invented these or figured out how to draw these. But these are basically like just magical support and resistance levels. And let me actually pull up all of them. I'm actually missing a couple here. Bada boom. And these are super, super reactive levels. You guys can see support. This supported every single higher low that we made at the bottom of this bear market. Absolutely beautiful. You get resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, support. I mean, do we have to continue? These things are absolutely goated. And if you want to learn how to draw these on your chart, shout out to Tony D. If you could find the spider line videos as well, I think there's an Ethereum one and a Bitcoin one. If you guys want to get these on your chart, check out those videos on the channel. But if we get a break above this all-time high, let me hide our upper value area here and break it down to simple higher time frame levels, right? This is not necessarily what I am expecting in the next day or 2 or 5 minutes, right? This is in the longer term, right? Just like on Bitcoin. And I hate to keep going back and forth here, but it makes a lot of sense, right? Because we can look back on what worked on Bitcoin and potentially, take those strategies and techniques and just port them over to Ethereum. And this is basically what we do, right? We've done this with the altcoins. We've been able to call fire targets on the altcoins that all broke out recently. Not recently, but like the last big pump that we had. But very simply put here, right? Because we know, sure, ETF approved, but it did wind up still taking, before we wound up getting that next big candle, it took 28 days. And I know it doesn't look like a lot in hindsight, but when you are sitting there waiting for price to make a move, you start to really question, like, is this move down sketchy, or are we just going to pump? It's very easy to go back in hindsight and be like, oh, ETF was approved, move to the upside. But the truth is that 20% dump was very scary for a lot of people. But not us. We literally longed the bottom of this wick. So, but with that being said, we have to anticipate some noise to come in here. So let's pull back up Ethereum real quick and talk about those higher targets. So again, not expecting this to happen immediately. If we were to get, I would expect if you were to get a correction, it would probably be a little more than 20%, being that just Ethereum tends to be a little bit more volatile as the market cap is lower. But we'll talk about the key levels of support in a second. Right? So if we do get a correction, right, whether we come down here, bounce off that spider line, by the way, definitely watch the Ethereum video, guys, the pre-recorded video that Tony just dropped in the chat. Let me see, ETH video, bada boom. I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat. Save that in another tab and check it out after this video. But because that's where I talk about the key support levels, like if we really start breaking down, I will say this spider line is one of those levels, sitting at about $2,600. So maybe we pull down there, maybe we don't. But in the longer term, guys, we have our all-time high sitting right here at about $4,800, $4,868 to be exact. I'll actually label this all-time high so everybody can have a clear view of what we are looking at here. Bada boom, right? So, regardless of whatever noise we see, once you break that all-time high and we go into price discovery, I want you guys to focus on two very specific levels here, and that is this little pocket of spider lines that we have flying right through some very interesting levels. A lot of the levels that a lot of you guys dropped in the chat. Now, this is not where I'm anticipating the all-time high for Ethereum in this cycle, but just the next likely place for price to go once we break that all-time high. And just to clean things up, let me hide these other, somewhat irrelevant spider lines at the moment. So this little spider line pocket, whoops, so I definitely don't want to move the spider line. Right here, depending on how quickly we get up there, guys, these do trend up over time. So, just assuming, right, let's just pretend like if you were to come up in the next weekly candle here, it does come in at around $5,700 is the start of that first spider line. And then up to the second spider line brings you up to that 67. And again, I don't really expect like an instant teleportation up there, but basically between about $5,700 and $7,300 is kind of that next little sweet spot that I'm going to be looking for once and if Ethereum winds up breaking above that all-time high and we go into price discovery. It's going to be a likely zone of resistance that we're going to get caught on, which makes it my next target to the upside once we get that big move up, which I do think will likely come sooner than later. Is it going to come tomorrow, next week, next month, 2 months, 3 months? Who knows? But sooner than later, I don't think we're like going to just yeet that down to bear market lows at any point. At least at this point, maybe if we get new information on the charts, we can reassess the situation. But this is going to be that next target, really between about, I would say 7,300. If I'm trying to ballpark other confluent levels I have up here. Again, watch that video if you want all the actual detailed levels. But again, yeah, 5,700, I would call it. I know it's kind of a big range here, but 5,700 up to about $7,300 is going to be that next big serious level of resistance that we are likely to get caught up on. And then obviously the longer it takes us to get up there, the higher those targets become, right? Because if we wind up bing-bonging around for, say, another month, like Bitcoin did before its next big move, right? On Bitcoin, we had the ETF approval, correction. About a month later, we got the next big move up that everyone was expecting on the ETF approval, but obviously was a sell the news event. So, if we wound up getting like another, say, month out, 28 days, that would bring us, right about, that bottom spider line becomes almost 6,000, and then that top spider line becomes about 7,300, right? Like I just said. So that is definitely going to be the next zone. Can we hit it? Let me know. in the chat if you guys think that's even possible. And again, watch that Ethereum video, guys, because I do talk about some higher levels up here that if we break all these levels, where that next zone of resistance is going to be, and it does get pretty exciting, but it is kind of far away. So please tame your expectations. These markets are sometimes confusing and very crazy and volatile, so just be careful out there. But there you go, guys. That is what I'm looking at on Ethereum for the most part. Just really trying to hold on to that spider line. So there you go. Whether we get that retracement or we don't, you guys have all the targets you need to be looking at, and not only that, but the lines in the sand where you need to be flipping bullish if those key levels are broken. Again, more detail in the Ethereum video. Please, for the love of God, do not sleep on that video. You'll know why when you watch it. Shout out to Creighton C. Why can't I see the super chat? Hang on. Shout out to Creighton C. Did you just send us? Shout out to Creighton. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says 17 watching, 250 likes. Yep, that makes sense. The great internal debate on clicking the mouse continues. Sure, if it was hot Insta girl on TikTok showing off hand dancing moves, you hit the like button. Guy does free TA? Nah. Shout out to Creighton C. He is our like police. Smash that like button if you guys are finding this content valuable or usable in any way, shape, or form. Smash that like button. If we get 1,000 likes on the stream, which, by the way, is not going to go on for much longer because I do have to hop out of here because I am leaving town. Shout out to Wick589 said, do they do this with BTC ETF? Approval confusion. Yes, absolutely. That is why I'm saying, like, it's not just ETF approved and then off to $1 million, right? That shout out to Wick. This is, you never know what can happen. Even if they say it's approved on the SEC website, a lot of people are going to be very binary about that, right? They're going to be like, oh, that's it. It's official. It's on the SEC website, which for the record, like, I would take that as fact. But even then, it's like, oh, we got hacked. Oh, the intern messed up. Like, whatever it is, this is why we have to approach the markets with an agnostic view, looking at the bullish case, looking at the bearish case, and then trying to capitalize on it whichever way it goes. So that's what I'm looking at on ETH. And again, I don't want to spend too much time on this. If you guys want more information on those key support levels, and more importantly, the line in the sand, the actual line in the sand for bigger moves to the downside, and if we do get that bigger move to the downside, where that support's going to come in down here, go watch that Ethereum video. And now, let's go ahead and jump on over to Bitcoin to do a quick little update here on Bitcoin. How are we doing on time? Let me check it. Okay, there we go. Shout out to Bullish Mindset said ATL loves crypto. I mean, dang right. Wait, what is this? Shout out to Metabytes. How did you tag Creighton C like that? That's crazy. I guess they're changing stuff on YouTube. Stuff looks a little bit different here. But let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin real quick, guys. And then I will try my best to get into like maybe one or two altcoins. I don't know if I'm going to have time for that. I literally am like, I gotta get out of here in a minute. But let's go ahead and check it out. But on Bitcoin, guys, what were we looking for? Simply put, we had a deviation. Let me pull up a higher time frame. We simply had a deviation above our volume profile, which is what we look for potential scalp short positions, because once you're above that value area high, that is where you are looking at this price as overvalued, and you're looking for an acceptance back into your value area, rejecting your value area high, and then where is that next place that price is likely to go? You are simply looking down to that point of control of the range, which is why I was looking at this blue box as our support level. And what happens, right? You get a move from the value area high down to the POC, and then you literally come down here and tap that 786 to the dollar. Shout out to anybody who watched the live stream over the past couple of days and had these levels marked out on their charts. Hopefully, you guys were able to get some scalps off of that, some scalp longs off of that. But again, just in general here, guys, this dump is, it's crazy. I don't even know who this was. I was on, I think it was TikTok. I saw someone talking about how they weren't expecting such a dramatic move. And it's like crazy. Like this guy, I don't know who he was. I've never seen him before. He's like a TikTok guy. He has a lot of subscribers or a lot of followers on TikTok. And I'm like, dude, this is not a dramatic move. This is like that little pixel there is not a dramatic move, right? Maybe it's a dramatic move on the 5 minute, but this is, in my opinion, like I was looking for the bounce here, because even if you came down here and hit this golden pocket 786 retracement, very high likelihood of putting in a higher low and continuing to the upside. Now, it doesn't guarantee, right? Because at this point, we are definitely at risk of getting stuck in this volume profile, in which case, we really want to hold above this POC. If you can't hold above this POC, you break down below this blue box, it's going to be much more likely to come down to this level, which, by the way, are the levels we've been looking at on the live stream for quite some time. So all these levels remain the same. This is key support. This is key support. If we lose that 786 at 66,142, shout out to Tony T. He was talking to, I forget, he said he was talking to one of our friends that was saying, like, man, he like texted Tony, was like, man, you said that price might dip down to 66,000, and here we are getting that bounce. And this is, guys, this is the stuff that we teach here every single day on this YouTube channel, on this live stream every weekday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is not like, sure, it takes a lot of time to master TA. It takes a long time to find out where those key levels you're looking for are supposed to be. But this is definitely learnable, right? Like, this is why I teach this every single day, because it's definitely possible, right? So there's the if this then that. As long as we hold above that POC, we can potentially anticipate a move back to the upside. But once you break down below that 786, much more likely to get a move down to your next key level, which is sitting between 62.5 and 61.33. And then kind of the line in the sand for Bitcoin, in my opinion, is going to be losing these lows at about $57,000. Once we do that, we still have that massive, massive target down here between 51 and 52K. But hopefully we don't get too much of a sell the news event on the ETH ETF, and we don't have to go back down there, and we could just continue this bullish trend and continue to the upside. For the record, I know a lot of people are probably curious. I am still holding my long position from down here on the deviation below the value area. Shout out to the volume profiles, right? We don't just talk about this. We actually put our money where our mouth is, or I put my money where my mouth is. Actually taking these trades. I'm not logged in here. I don't have time to log in, but I am still holding that trade. And the plan for that was to ride it above the value area low, move it into the POC, flip that POC, and go to the high. And we got that entire move to play out. So again, in my opinion, if we're going to continue this trend, we have to hold one of these two key levels. In which case, if we do not hold this and we break down, we still have that scalp short, shout out to the premium Discord, taken from the deviation of that volume profile. Now, pulling up Market Cypher really quickly here, guys. Obviously, that red dot, as I said earlier, was one of the reasons why we were looking for that move, for this potential retracement. And to be honest with you, I'm all eyes on the daily money flow, right? Because as long as if this VWAP can come back up and pull this money flow back to the upside, I think that could be a big move for Bitcoin, right? Because what we really don't want to see is if we fake out back into the red here, this could be very bad, right? That would mean, right, we spent a lot of time in the green here. We came into the red, and if you break back into the red here, I will say I do think it's probably going to be a higher chance that you come into a deeper wave. So really what we want to see is that VWAP kick back to the upside. We want to see that money flow wave continue up, and you guys can see, like, just because we are, kind of like curving down here doesn't mean that we're going to cross over. Let me try to find a good example here. It's not always that we're going to have to come a little bit further back. Like even here, right? You can see money flow crossed over into the green, and then it started coming down, right, as you printed a red dot. But then that VWAP came back up, money flow came back up, and you kept moving, right? And not only that, but you got a retracement and a bigger move to the upside. So very similarly, I would really, literally all eyes on this money flow crossover into the green. As long as that stays in the green and this VWAP can come back up, I do think we could potentially put that higher low in and continue to the upside. And then again, line in the sand is going to be between the $786 and $57,000. We start losing that level, I do think it's probably going to be likely that things are getting ugly and we probably could get a bigger correction. But as of right now, no reason to anticipate that because we are right on schedule to what we've been looking for, and that is for a potential higher low to come in here on that POC zone, sitting between 67,480 and 66,157. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Creighton C said, Frankie, can we do a test? Can Mrs. Candles bring her hand on screen and move it around, a snap, wiggle fingers? I want to see if the likes go up. Mrs. Candles! I don't know if she's going to come in here. She's going to come in here and be like, I thought it was going to be a short stream, Frankie. Come on. Come on, Mr. Candles. She might not be here. Mrs. Candles? She may not come. She may not come over. But let's see. Hang on. Shout out to Live for Love says your volume is really low. Is that true? I don't know. If I raise my volume, I will clip and I will sound all distorted like. But yeah, it might be a volume thing on your end. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yo, shout out to the Salty Biscuit says, countdown time, Frankie. 1.7K viewers and less than 300 likes. Hit that like button, guys, on the count of 3. Smash that like button. 1, 2, 3. What are we at, actually? We're at 389, so almost 400 likes. On the count of 3, let's see if we can spam those likes and jump it from 390 to 550 in the next 15 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Smash that like button. I'm hitting it twice. I don't care. I'm cheating. I'm hitting it twice. I'm just kidding. I can't hit the like button. But we do. Maybe we got to get Mrs. Candles to do a little hand dance over here. Shout out to Creighton C. But let's go ahead and continue on here. I do have a few more minutes here to take a look at some altcoins. So what I will do here is let's take a quick look at Solana. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. I'm on stonks here. I'm on stonks. How's Coin doing? Yeah, that's why I'm on here. I was looking at Coinbase. For our boy Josh, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, hey. Likely, yeah, very likely. I do think Coin, guys, if Bitcoin gets another big move up, I do think Coin, the Coinbase stock, could potentially move up to 337. But let's take a quick look at Solana. This is not a stonks channel, but let's go ahead and jump into Solana real quick. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so, and the reason I'm looking at Solana is just because everybody was spamming Solana. Let's see. Interesting. Shout out to Dylan. Says my volume's a little lower as well. I think I may know what that is. Bear with me. Is that better? That might be my actual volume. I don't know whose idea it was to put touch buttons on a microphone. Horrible design. Who makes this? Sure. Shout out to Sure. Horrible design. I don't know why you would put touch buttons on a microphone, especially when you know Frankie Candles likes to just fondle the microphone constantly while he talks. Anyway, let's continue on. Bada boom, bada bing. Yo, let's go. Shout out to Redman. Says it's ETH Day. Let's go. Okay, so let's go ahead and check it out here. Bada boom. Yeah, there you go. Yes, better. Shout out to Tyler Durden. Thank you for that. That might have been that thing. That might have been the problem. Emery says it's too loud now. Actually, no, I could probably fix that. Bada boom. Bada boom. Bada boom. There we go. That should be good. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at Solana here, guys. And here we are, right? I believe was it yesterday or maybe not? Maybe, where were we yesterday? Yesterday was the 22nd. Okay, yeah, so we had already hit these two resistance levels that we were looking at on Solana for quite some time. Had this nice little head and shoulders pattern, right? Kind of a wonked out one. But we did wind up getting the breakout. And, I mean, what was the target on this technically? Let's see. Yeah, kind of hard to, yeah, it's kind of a wonked out neckline, to be honest with you guys. But let me just take this real quick. Bada boom. Yeah, I mean, the breakout target for this is the value area high. And to be quite honest with you, just in general, like that is going to be the kind of next target in my opinion, right? We understand that we had these intermediary levels of resistance that were kind of in between the value area low and value area high. But these are just intermediary levels to do what? Right? Just give you some noise, right? And this is exactly what they did, right? We got one rejection here, one rejection there. But we all know that that is just kind of intermediary levels to give you that noise in the market. But in the grand scheme of things, if you're ignoring the lower time frame levels, once you flip that value area low and POC to support, the next likely place for price to go is that value area high, which is literally what we were talking about as we were hanging out around down below and just kind of playing around with this value area low, right? Literally saying the same thing we always say. All we got to do is get back above the value area low, flip that POC, and then we can be off to the value area high. And in my opinion, although we did get the resistance off those levels that we had already marked out, as long as we can get above these levels and flip them to support, still going to be likely to get up to that level, right? That value area high sitting at about $205. Can Solana hit $205 in the near future? Let me know what you think in the chat. Let's see. Shout out to Creighton. I'm not going to read that out loud, but let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay. Shout out to Post said, so he could fondle that mic with, no? Okay. Shout out to Post. Woohoo, baby. Good thing I read in my head like a couple words ahead. Otherwise, I'd be walking into some naughty stuff, some naughty business. But anyway, let's go ahead and see. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so let me go ahead. I will take a quick look at let's take a quick let's see. Let's take a look at our good old friend XRP. Come on, XRP, do something. All right, we're not going to look at XRP because this thing is literally just doing the exact same thing that it has been doing forever. Where is that long position? Still in play here. Still in play. We did give a long setup here for free here on the live stream. But did we delete it? What's going on here? Let's see. I guess we don't have it on there anymore. But let's see. Take a look at maybe let's take a look at Chainlink. Bada boom. And here we are, right? This is kind of a similar situation as Ethereum, right? Where you're kind of just bing-bonging around a lower volume profile and an upper volume profile, right? And, obviously, you get above that value area low, you bing-bong straight to the value area high. Once you get into that next value area low, right? This is an older range pulled from the top of the bull market. Let me go ahead and zoom out here. Getting lost on my own chart here, right? You pull this range from the top of the bull market, extrapolate those levels to the right, and that is basically what you're tapping on here, the low of that range. So that is your key level of support or resistance and also your doorway to higher prices, right? Because if you get above here and hold it as support, where's that next likely place for price to go? Crate and C, let me know. Absolutely. It's going to be, well, I don't think that's the POC. The POC is all the way up here, but you could begin your journey up to that next level, which is going to be the point of control of the range. Now, we do have this naked daily point of control, which was hit and already rejected. So this is no longer naked, but still a relevant level of resistance. Just not putting as much weight on that as I would before it was touched, right? When it was naked, it's a little bit more of a point of interest for me. Once they're tapped, you probably are going to interact with it a little bit, but it's not as important in my opinion. So as long as we can get above that value area low and hold that support, we could begin, remember, our journey, right? Not just a straight line to your target, but you could start your journey up to your next levels, and then you are going to be eventually targeting that POC and the value area high of that range. So other than that, really nothing to update here. If you break down, very simply put, key level of support, $15.87, break below that $15.87 level, $15.87 level, and you get stuck below this value area value area high. This is where you look for the bigger breakdown to the POC and the value area low, which is still a key level of support. So there you go. All right, let's see. Interesting. Shout out to Julio. Said Chainlink's YouTube channel put up a video of Sergey saying other ETFs coming. Shout out to Julio. Is this going to be the bull run of the ETFs? Apparently. COQ ETF incoming? Come on, baby. Give us a meme coin ETF. ICP to the moon. Shout out to Frankie. Not Frankie, but Frenkie. Shout out to you, bro. Said, is there a bearish pattern forming on DOT? I don't know why I just did that. Bada boom. Actually, you know what? Zoom out here a bit. All right. So, yeah, I mean, DOT just continuing to bing bong around the levels that we've been looking at, right? So here's the thing, right? I probably see what you're saying. I assume you're probably looking at this as some kind of a bear flag, right? Something like that, right? Right. This could be bearish consolidation, but I will be honest. Look at your money flow. Red dot on the daily. I wouldn't be surprised if you just kind of bing bong around this local range on Polkadot, to be quite honest. But yeah, overall, in the longer term for Polkadot, like, if Polkadot dumped back down to the bottom of this range, I am buying so much Polkadot. I think Polkadot is one of the most undervalued projects out there right now. Understand, we've seen a lot of the altcoins, Dogecoin, right, ripped out of its bear market range right into its previous bull market range, right, up here. We've seen this happen with a lot of different stuff. Take a look at Link, same thing, right? We went from the bear market range, broke out into our big bull market range. Big moves on a lot of these altcoins, but there are some of them, guys, that just have not moved yet, and DOT being one of them that just simply put, looking at it, it's like you have your bear market range. We tried to break out and just nothing happened, right? So in my opinion, like, this is, for me, a buy the dip situation for Polkadot. down here a buy the dip situation for Polkadot, because eventually, right, assuming that the bull market continues, right, and we're not just going to go to zero, we are going to be anticipating higher prices for this thing, potentially looking to target that value area low and POC of the range. I want you guys to remember back to when everything was pumping, when Dogecoin ripped out of its bear market range, when we had all of these, crazy moves on the altcoins. A lot of people felt FOMO, right? A lot of people felt like, oh my God, is it too late to buy Doge? And they ask after the gigantic moon, is it too late to buy Dogecoin? And oftentimes, guys, this is not the best time to buy, at least the way I trade, right? Like, you're not always going to snipe the bottom of the bear market, but you don't want to buy the big green candles. You want to at least wait for retracements. But with the case on Polkadot, right, when Polkadot winds up inevitably pumping, right, no guarantees, but I mean, obviously it's a good project, and I wouldn't expect it to go to zero. I would expect higher prices in the near term, or like in the near future. And if that's the case, people aren't going to be interested in buying Polkadot until it's up here, right? So just understand that. That's why I'm so interested in Polkadot down here and down here. So with that being said, I mean, you're just still within your bear market range. So for me, this is an accumulation zone for Polkadot. And yeah, that's about it, right? You take a look at your higher time frames. Green dot printing on the 6-day, and the weekly is also looking to print a green dot, and you never even really got a full money flow crossover into the green on the weekly here. You got a fake out into the green, and then you went back into the red. So once that money flow crossover, if this money flow crossover happens at the same time as this weekly green dot, I do think Polkadot would be ready for a big move to the upside. So that is what I'd be looking at on Polkadot. And then just for anybody who wants the key levels here, key level of support, absolutely pinnacle. I actually don't know if you're going to wind up coming back down here, but $5 even is your value area low. Between $5 and $5.34, you have a 786 sitting down there. And then between the golden pocket and the POC here, obviously another key level. So if you lose that golden pocket, like the next natural place for price to go is the 786. Very similar to when you lose the POC, you look for the value area low. So like double reason if you lose this zone to look for that bounce at the 786 value area low. But for me, long term, no short-term trades on Polkadot for me right now. But this is accumulation for me, right? If I got paid on Friday tomorrow, right? If I, like, let's say you get paid, I'd be dumping my checks into this thing, right? Assuming that we're not going to have some kind of a crazy black swan like March of 2020 that's going to rip everything back down. But for me, this is accumulation for Polkadot. But guys, with all that being said, I do think that is all the time I have for tonight's live stream. Like I said, I am going to be traveling today. I did push back those plans just to be live with you guys for the Ethereum ETF and to give you guys an update on what I'm looking at for the upcoming price action here. So remember, bullish for Ethereum, absolutely, but remember, now you have those key levels to the downside in case you do get some kind of random pullback. And one more time, if you're asking why would there be a pullback on an ETF approval, simply go back and look at the Bitcoin ETF approval and what happened after it with that 20% dump. Sure, still bullish on Bitcoin after we got the big move up, but instantly, it's not very common to see that instant teleportation to the upside. So with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. I'm actually not going to do a Frankie fake out tonight because I literally got to go grab my bags and get out of here. So thank you all for tuning in. Smash that like button on your way out. If this live stream, I don't know how many likes we have. We probably don't have anywhere near 1,000. But if you hit the like button, guys, and we get to 1,000 likes, I will give away $150 of XRP to one lucky CandleMafia member on next week's giveaways. Tomorrow, I may do a market update. I'm not sure what my schedule is going to be. But then next week after the holiday, we will be right back to our normal streaming schedule. And with all that being said, go check out that ETH video linked to the top of the video, linked to the top of the chat if you guys want to know my further details and higher price targets for Ethereum. And with all that being said, that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. I'll see you guys next week, and maybe tomorrow. That's all I got. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, we winning by a landslide, never see me coming, I'm a landmine, yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go. At at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll.